Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the Asteroids game in C++ series, and in this video we are gonna use our algorithm that we developed in the previous video, not in the previous video, the video before that one, in which we implemented our intersection algorithm. So we are going to use that to test for player intersection against the asteroids. Now for the intersection algorithm, it's going to be very similar to our bullet intersection stuff that we are doing here. The only thing that's going to change is the arguments we pass to the intersect function. So I'm going to copy this from here and go under player and just paste this in the update method. Now we'll need to make sure we actually go ahead and include the appropriate headers up here, or else it would cause problems. And we are going to remove the code here and just put a debug statement here for testing, just for testing, nothing serious. We'll change it later. So you can see that we have got this. Of course, what we need to change is that this also needs to be the player's polygon, for which we will go ahead and use the physics get transform function with passing the player's vertex array, and we are going to rename this transform to asteroid transform, and we are going to create another transform outside of the loop, since these need to be the player transform needs to be calculated only once, not not on every iteration. So we are going to create a player transform which will set to sf transform dot translate dot rotate, just like we have done in the render function, and we'll pass that to our get transform function, and we'll get those two arrays and check whether they intersect, and then we'll do this. So let's run that, and what you should see is that it does work perfectly. So if I run this, you should see that well, let it actually compile first. So you can see that it runs, and by default, of course, I don't get anything on my screen. I can move around and shoot, and if I go ahead and touch this asteroid, well, it actually freezes for some reason. Okay, that is interesting. Let's go ahead and debug that application to see whether it still gives the error. It should not be giving any error though, so let's see. Now if I run this, what you can see is I can go up here and I can collide with this, and well, it does display wow in the console. You can see it did a lot of wows because we were intersecting for quite a few frames, but when we are not intersecting, it does not give wow, and our asteroid is quite concave, which does make it kind of a bit inaccurate, since our algorithm is only suited to convex polygons, but it's not really something too noticeable, and you can make your asteroid shape a bit less concave if you want those problems to not occur. So you can kind of make it a little bit less concave if you want that. Of course, our player, this shows us that our player with asteroid collision is working correctly, and we have got no problems with this right now. Now this thing that we have got here is, of course, that's a debug thing. We don't want to actually print something, but want the game to be over when the player collides. So for that reason, we are going to go under game.each here, and I'm going to create a static void here called game over, which we can call when the game is actually over. So in player.cpp, we'll just call that method. We'll say game : game over. Now for the actual implementation of the method, we can go here and create a definition of the function, and first of all we'll clear the entities, and then what I like to do is I like to call the begin function to kind of initialize everything to the default. However, in the begin we do some font and sound buffer loading that we don't need to repeat. That would just cause our game to be slow, since it would reload everything that's already loaded. For that reason, I'm going to go under game.age and create yet another function here called init, which will actually handle the initialization that needs to be done once, not on each game cycle. So here I will go inside of here, and now we can call well, first of all, let's implement init here. We'll go here and copy all of the loading stuff, the font and the sound buffer, into the init function, and we'll remove this and this, and the begin function will only set these things correctly. And I will go under main.cpp, and let me just go ahead and call game : init first and then begin after. Now in game.cpp, what we do is on game over, we just go ahead and call begin, and then we before that we also set our score to 0. Now while that works, there is a bit of a problem with this, which is that we are calling this in the middle of a loop, and clearing the entities while we are still iterating over them can cause our iterators to be invalid, and then it would cause a crash. For this reason, we need to delay this till the end of the update cycle, for which I will go under game.h and I will create a static private, a private static boolean called is game over, and I will go ahead and let me save that, and let's go under game.cpp, and we'll actually create an implementation of this here. Not game over, is game over, and when we do game over, we'll just remove all of the code we have, and we'll just remove this code, and we'll just say is game over is equal to true. Now in the end of each update function, if is game over, we'll test that. If that is the case, then we'll just say entities.clear, and we'll set our score to 0, and then we'll begin. We'll do that. And in the begin, what we are going to do is make sure we are going to set our is game over to false when we begin the game, and that is essentially going to cause us to restart the game each time it's over. So let's go ahead and test that out and see whether it works or not. And what you should see is that it does indeed work. So yeah, you can see that we have got our player here. I can move around, and there's the asteroid. I can shoot it, it disappears, gives me 10 points, and there's another asteroid and another one. If I, for example, touch this asteroid, the game is immediately over. We restart it, we lose every entity, and our score is reset back to 0. So you can see that that is working, and we have got a working system for this and in place, and it's pretty nice. So yeah guys, this is pretty much it for this video. I'll see you in the next one, in which we'll start implementing the asteroid to asteroid collision to make them change direction when they collide with each other. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe as well, and share this video with other people, and bye.